standing at a hot dog stand at 11 o'clock at night, holding my money. Not sure if I had done something wrong. The man behind the counter was looking at me. People behind me were waiting, and I had no idea what was happening. If you enjoy real stories that help you understand English in everyday moments, make sure to subscribe, because what happened next is something no one ever taught me in school. That night, I learned something about English that no one ever taught me in school. My name is Mia. I am from Hamburg, Germany. I came to New York City for the first time in my life. It was a solo trip. Just me, my small backpack, and my very nervous heart. I wanted to do this for a long time. I saved money for 2 years. I planned everything carefully. But there was one thing I could not plan for. My English in school? I learned grammar. I learned vocabulary. I passed my exams. But speaking to real people, in real situations, in a real city at 11 at night, that was different. That was something else completely. When I arrived at JFK Airport, I already felt it. The officer at immigration said something fast and I asked him to repeat it 3 times. My face turned red. I smiled too much. I nodded when I was not sure. That is what I always do when I am confused. I nod and I smile and I hope. My first 2 days were okay. I walked around Manhattan. I ordered coffee. I asked for directions twice. I was proud of myself. I thought, maybe I am doing better than I expected. Then came the 3rd night. It was late. I had been walking all day. My feet hurt. I visited the Brooklyn Bridge, the High Line, and a small museum in Chelsea. I was tired but also happy. That kind of happy that makes you feel warm inside. I was walking back toward my hotel when I saw it. A hot dog stand on the corner of a busy street. There was a yellow light above it. Steam was coming up from the cart. There were a few people standing there, eating and talking. It looked warm. It looked easy. I was hungry. I had not eaten since lunch. And honestly, I just wanted something simple. I thought, a hot dog is easy. I can do this. Just point and pay. How hard can it be? I walked up to the stand. The man working there was maybe 50 years old. He had a gray cap and a big jacket. He was moving fast, putting hot dogs and buns, handing them to people. I waited for my turn. When he looked at me, I said, 1 hot dog, please. He nodded, made it quickly, and handed it to me. That's $3, he said. I opened my small wallet and took out a $5 bill. I gave it to him. He gave me back $2 in coins. I took them and put them in my pocket. Then he looked at me and said, "You're good." I stopped. I looked at him. "Sorry," I said. "You're good," he said again. I did not understand. My brain tried to translate it very fast. "You are good." What did that mean? Did I do something wrong? Was I not supposed to take the coins? Did I drop something? Was he angry? I looked down at my hands. I looked at the hot dog. I looked at him. His face was neutral, not angry, not smiling, just waiting. I thought maybe I misheard him. I took a small step back, away from the counter. Is everything okay?" I asked. He looked at me again, a little surprised. Then he turned to the next customer. I walked away slowly. I was holding the hot dog, but I was not eating it. Something felt wrong, but I did not know what. I found a bench near the stand. I sat down. I looked at the hot dog. I thought about what just happened. "You're good. You're good. You're good." Maybe it meant I was a good customer. Or maybe I did something strange and he was being polite. I replayed the moment in my head. I gave him $5. He gave me $2 back. That was correct. 3 plus 2 is 5. So the money was right. But then why did he say that? I ate one small bite of the hot dog. It was actually very good, but I could not enjoy it because my brain was still working. A woman sat down on the other end of the bench. She was maybe 60 years old. She had a shopping bag and she looked tired too. She glanced at me. I thought for a moment. Then I said quietly, "Excuse me?" She looked at me. "I have a small question." "Maybe it is stupid," I said. She smiled a little. "Go ahead. If someone says to you, 'You're good,' what does that mean?" Like, after paying for something, she looked at me with soft eyes. "Oh, that just means you're all set. Everything is fine. Like you can go." I stared at her. "It means I can go." "Yeah," she said. "It's like saying no problem or you're all taken care of. It's informal. Very common here." I felt something shift in my chest. "So, it is not a problem." "Not at all," she said. "Did something happen?" "I think," I said slowly. I stood there looking confused for a long time. She laughed softly. "Welcome to New York, honey." I laughed too, a little nervously. "Thank you," I said. "Truly, thank you." She nodded and went back to looking at her phone. I sat there for a moment, but I did not feel fully better yet. Because I suddenly remembered something. When the man said you're good and I stepped back and asked, is everything okay? He turned away from me and moved to the next customer. And the people in the line behind me had been watching. I thought, everyone saw that. Everyone saw me be confused. Everyone saw me not understand 3 simple English words. That thought sat heavy in my stomach. Heavier than the hot dog. I threw away the wrapper and started walking again. I was heading back toward my hotel, but the street was busy and I turned the wrong way. I walked for 5 minutes before I realized I did not know exactly where I was. I stopped at a corner. I looked around. There was a small convenience store open, a pharmacy, a man selling pretzels from a small cart. I walked to the pretzel cart. The man there was young, maybe 25. He was wearing a white scarf. Excuse me, I said. I am looking for 8th Avenue. I think I went the wrong way. He looked up. Yeah, you need to go back that way. He pointed behind me. 2 blocks, then turn left. 2 blocks, then left, I repeated. Exactly, he said. Then, because I don't know why, because I was tired and confused and a little embarrassed from earlier, I said, can I ask you something? He looked at me with an open face. Sure, if someone says you're good to you, after you pay, what does it mean? He tilted his head, like at a store or something. Yes, at a hot dog stand. He smiled. Oh, it means you're all set. Like you paid. Everything's fine. You can go, okay? I said. 2 people told me this now. He laughed. Did someone say it to you and you didn't know? Yes, I said. I stood there. I thought maybe I did something wrong. He laughed again. Not mean, just friendly. That's actually really common. A lot of tourists get confused by that one. It sounds like a judgment, right? Yes, I said, pointing at him. Exactly that. I thought he was rating me, and I was not sure if I passed. He smiled again. You passed. You always pass with your good. It just means relax. You're fine. Move along. I breathed out slowly. Thank you, I said. Really? No problem, he said. Oh, and also, that means the same thing. No problem. All good. You're good. They all mean relax. I nodded. Relax, I repeated. Relax, he said. I said goodnight and walked back the way I came. 2 blocks, then left. He was right. I found 8th Avenue quickly. I walked toward my hotel. The city was still loud around me. Taxis, music from somewhere, people talking. But inside me, something was quieter. I thought about the man at the hot dog stand. I thought about how he looked at me when I asked, is everything okay? He was not angry. He was probably just surprised. Maybe he thought I was strange. Maybe he forgot about me 10 seconds later. People in New York move very fast. I thought about the woman on the bench. She explained it so simply. She did not make me feel stupid. She just answered. I thought about the man at the pretzel cart. He said it was common. He said tourists get confused by that one. That made me feel less alone. I was almost at my hotel when something hit me. You're good. All 3 of those words, I knew. You are good. I learned them very early. But together, in that context, at night, after paying said by a fast-talking stranger, I had no idea. That is the thing about English that no one tells you. It is not always about the words. It is about the situation. It is about the speed. It is about the feeling. And sometimes, the same 3 words mean something completely different from what you think. I went up to my room. I took off my shoes. I sat on the bed. My shoulders finally relaxed. I had not noticed how tense they were. I pressed my hands together in my lap and I breathed slowly. I did not feel embarrassed anymore. Or maybe I still did, a little, but it was softer now. It was the kind of embarrassment that felt okay. Like when you fall on the street and you are fine, but you laugh anyway. I thought about all the English I had studied, the grammar books, the exercises, the listening tests in school. None of them ever said, by the way, sometimes you're good means you can go. And no problem means don't worry. And you're all set means everything is finished and you are free. Those phrases lived in the space between the words, and that space I was only now starting to learn. I smiled to myself in the quiet room. I was still not fluent. I still made mistakes. But that night, I talked to 2 strangers in a big city, in a language that was not mine, and they both helped me, not because they had to, just because they did. That felt like something. That felt like more than I expected from New York at 11 o'clock at night. The next morning, I went to get coffee near the hotel. The woman at the register gave me my change and said, "You're good." I smiled. A real smile this time. "Thank you," I said. "I know." And I walked out into the city, into the noise, into the English I was still learning. One moment at a time. Have you ever misunderstood something in English, even though you knew all the words? I think it happens to so many of us, more than we talk about. If you felt something reading my story, I would love for you to subscribe. I share stories like this one, real, quiet, human moments, where English is not a lesson, but a feeling. Maybe we can keep learning together, one small moment at a time.